Hey guys, I'd like to introduce you to someone.
Is it the person that's on the other side of this door?
I think so. Here we have Cass Milligan, aka Clock Tower Kid.
Oh, I would have called her Cat Kid, but I guess they thought it would be too similar to Hat Kid, and they'd be in some deep trouble.
Yeah,
And
pretty
she found a
much.
kitty.
Just a stray kitten. And in the course of that day, she played with it, gave it flowers.
Oh, and there's my friend over there.
Balan's playing the Jack in the Box.
And
But then, as she was going away,
no.
bad things happened.
Accidents happen.
she doesn't like
Look.
those accidents.
It was
Will you let this
traumatizing.
happen? Will you let this happen to you?
Ooh.
So, basically, as far as we left it, she ran in fear, not knowing what was going to happen, and she's now very despondent and traumatized. As oh god, what if the thing has died?
Yeah.
Well, again, welcome back to this was the last stage that James and I were able to show off in the demo when it was first released.
Yep, this was the third level that they showed off, and we're actually gonna get to play it for you all again with just a little bit more knowledge.
With a bit more knowledge, hey Cass, and showing off. Whoops. Well, don't matter.
Oops.
Again, you if you saw the demo, you already understand what happens here. It's
You know what we're
basically our
dealing with here.
little
It's the Clockwork Prince.
Look at him go. Any minute now.
Well, you can still
Just
go
a
in there if
bit
it's not all the
more,
way.
And voila.
Okay, now I'm snatching you up and we're going in. So, again, I don't mind this style. Maybe it's because the environment and stuff reminds me of Bellbridge and stuff. But like, I don't mind. I actually do like the aesthetic of the stage.
What's that
of,
you
like,
say?
a nice-
Pig. That's nice.
Ha, co-op. we
No
say.
thanks, I don't like bacon.
But yeah, no. It's just something about like the music, the what's it called? Carillon, that kind of song. It's just like this sort of this is the nice Victorian era kind of thing. I don't know. I like it. I know Jordy's not too big of a fan on this stage, but I like it.
I
I think it's only because of the amount of times I did play, or maybe it was the second act that I wasn't too fond of, but it's not bad in general. It's fine by the way
Okay.
it is.
Alrighty.
it.
And I mean, not gonna hear James and I complain. I mean, it was just just going through the stage as far as we already knew it, and again we can break many platforming challenge with the two of us.
Yep.
Except narrow platforming is still a bit of a
Watch out for the pendulum.
nerve. I thought we were further past that point. Fine, I'll do the dance.
Now for the proper introduction to the Gear Prince.
Look at my gear
Yeah, so-
tutu.
Silly that they don't do it by the time. Okay, back to breaking this game with co-op, as is our want in life. Go in.
And there.
Okay, Roger.
I'm trying to
We're
avoid
back.
the negative dance.
Back on track.
Aw. I do like the negative battle theme. Actually, I remember now. I realized what I was thinking of. This the music, like especially with the Nagati battles, it reminds me of the soundtrack and the music style of Okage Shadow King.
Oh, okay.
Honestly, in terms of like charismatic, evil-ish in quotes, like people helping us, I'm surprised you've never like looked into freaking what was his name, the Dark Lord Stan in Okage.
Dark Lord Stan.
Dark Lord Stan.
It was a PlayStation 2 era game where like you played a kid and your shadow was like this big like demon thing that possessed your shadow, and it was an RPG as the two of you tried to help. I mean, as far as the context of the game was concerned, the Demon Lord Stan had been in hibernation for so long that all of his underlings had nabbed his power for themselves, and he was like, "No, I'm running this bitch," and like you have to help him. Go ahead.
Just you say that it's like, you wanna know why I'm a demon lord? Because these prices are a sin!
Not that Stan. Stan, are you blind? No, but with these cataracts I may
Might
as
as
well
well be. What's that, woodpecker?
But no,
Why do you sound like J. Jonah Jameson?
Because
they're not that different
honestly,
from each
because honestly, I would accept J. Jonah Jameson as a live-action Stanford Pines.
Yeah, you mean J.K. Simmons? Well, what's funny is that
J.K.
like
Simmons.
what's funny is that like J.K. does voice his brother.
Oh.
That is true. I forgot he's Stan Lee, I think.
Stanford.
No, we already said Stanford is Pan.
No.
I'm talking about the
Stanford
other
is the character JK played. Stan Lee is the actual Grunkle.
Oh, you know, I gotta get back into watching that show because
Yes, we
because
do. Woo!
especially because of how Gideon refers to him as Stanford Pines. So the whole thing is he is absolutely leading a double life.
Essentially.
He assumed the identity of Stanford and not Stanley.
Yeah, mainly because of what happened to his brother. But again, we can like regale you of that once we resume our marathon. Hello there.
Hello, honey.
Me.
And now we
And
have a
you.
one-on-one bout with Lance.
You come in here and crash the party, and I was just about to have a conversation with my fiance.
And
Yeah.
yeah. So, going back to my whole point earlier about saying that I feel it was a missed opportunity that Lance wasn't as much a part of the program as Balan is, considering how hokey as fuck this fight sequence is.
Like, it does, yeah, I mean, again, I could see this, like, just being, like, after the end, they're like, wonderful fight choreography. Just wish I didn't have to take all the heavy hits.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
And
Look
then there's the
what I
laser light
found.
show.
But he can make a shield. If we time it right, anyway. Got it.
Yeah, he did. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Back at you, cuz.
And again, I don't... Oh, okay, he just runs away.
Because he's a pussy.
Okay.
Oh well, there's always next time.
Oh, I could have
Well,
sworn you do
now.
go after him later.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
See,
oh,
there
here
we
he is.
chased him. Okay, we did chase him. We chased him down.
Are you trying?
Can't catch me!
It's like, where'd you go?
I found a fist!
With your name on it!
Yeah! Okay, there we go. That should take him down for good. At least for now. I realize that is counterintuitive to the whole point of destroying someone for good, but you know, again, like it just you're right. Like the fact that we're not really the fact that through the course of these bouts, Balan doesn't really consider Lance like that
A
much of a
threat.
threat. Like in the sense of Balan, like as you've seen, like as long as you know, assuming you get the timing right, Balan literally dances around him.
Yeah,
I
like
think-
Lance doesn't really make the most out of his mess till the very end of the game, which kind of in some ways almost comes out of left field.
Fair.
Yeah, kind of. But I think it's like they're opposites that kind of do enjoy each other's company with purpose.
I mean, I would like that. I guess I would like that more stuff like that. We just oh, and also should be worth noting. Moving forward, this is where I'll pick up that pace, James.
Little help here.
Oh no! Ah,
You're gonna need the fluffy.
Hey, we're back.
Oh, okay. I thought you would need.
We
the
got
fluffy.
this. We got this. We got this.
just slide on your boat. And yeah,
Anyway.
this is why I'm gonna be a little bit more careful with my editing of these Balan bouts because, as you're starting to see, we're now gonna start approaching multiple versions of them in each stage.
Yep.
Chop!
Hassan,
Shut up!
Anyway,
That looks so. Oh, how about
Again?
well,
Again,
with
and then
multiple
he just
shops.
then just cut to later, and he just
Yep.
has his ice. Like they made it look so much simpler in the movies.
Anyway, what were you gonna say, Jordy?
I was going to ask the maestro himself here. What do you think of this whole experience right now?
Well, it depends. What do you think of it?
I think it's swell. And look at those
Yeah.
moves. 10 out of 10, good
It is-
sir.
Woohoo!
Well, if you and the kids enjoy it, then that means I'm doing my job well.
Yay!
They would
How
the
swell.
good news is that they never suspect that I'm actually doing all this in front of a blue screen. You can barely see the wire.
Blue screen.
Yeah, you don't. It's like, I guess something to do with like how I guess because green screens were like either too contrasting in color and too difficult to really like VFX out. It's like actually, yeah, I should look into that. Like sometimes Hollywood will use green screens for typical editing person into a scene, but then they'll sometimes use a blue screen. I'm looking that up. Why would they use what's the difference between the two?
Yeah,
I guess it
look
really
it
just
up.
depends on what colors are being used at the time.
That is fair. Let's see, blue screen versus green screen.
One of them is blue and the other is green.
No. Okay, you lost me hype. Let's see.
Blue, green.
Yeah,
Let's see,
you're gonna have to walk me through this.
Oh, look,
Let me
it's
see,
Pocket
also-
Puncher.
Aw.
I mean, it's the closest thing I'll
he's
get to
about to fall off.
Rayman. It's the closest
Yeah.
thing to a new Rayman game I'll get, so I'll take it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
it's
let's go
kind
with this
of
guy we did.
kind of sad that Square, in a game that they don't care about themselves, cares more about Rayman than Ubisoft does.
Oh, that's that typical Ubisoft way. Still looking forward to Sparks of Hope. But yeah, so looking at here, green screens. Most digital cameras capture more information on the green channel, so it results in a cleaner key around your subject with fewer noise artifacts. Green screens also require less light.
Okay.
A lot of things use green by default. So anyway, so why blue screen? The primary benefit of blue screen is that there's considerably less color spill, because the color blue has a lower luminance value. The chroma cubes often clip out too much of the hair, however. Blonde hair subjects are much easier to key onto a blue screen, and...
Makes sense.
Okay, so it looks like, I guess, like, as you guys put it, it really is just a matter of, like... When you're having to decide whether to use a green or blue screen, it really is just, a matter of, like... You should probably have both on standby, depending on, what is the most dominant, color palette you're working with. And I see we would need to use the genie there. Anywho. Genie.
Meanwhile,
You lost me there, buddy.
Oh, well, we're back into the mirror, into this mirror
Which
nonsense
one?
tomfoolery.
That one.
You better hurry, because he's...
Oh, there's a
I-
problem.
Oh, hey!
Oh, never
ow.
mind. Power
All
Your
right.
punch has a little bit of an upper hitbox. We'll take it. Alright, get out of here. We gotta make up for our lackluster performance in that bird world.
Wait, where are we? No, okay, there you go.
It was an
Gotta
accident.
wait for it to swap. Wait for it. Now.
Go, 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 go,
And-
go!
Now I'm wondering, like, using this kind of... Honestly, now I'm thinking... We may have already brought it up during this commentary, but using this, looking at this whole costume mechanic and thing, like... I almost wonder if Square could look at this engine, not dismiss it and throw it away completely, and what if they, like, actually went and, continued furthering their relationship with Disney and used this to make a Magical Quest 3D game?
I
not
wouldn't
against it.
I wouldn't be against that. Just, I mean, you know what?
Well,
it
actually,
it is funny you bring that up, because actually, Balan Wonderworld very much is just a new age Magical Quest, though sort of taking a few steps back in terms of how those games worked.
Well, I was
Well,
about
it's
to
like,
say...
again, it's still definitely slower as far as the platform, but, I mean, there's mechanics there, and go ahead, Hype.
Well, I was about to say, I'm not quite sure if, like, Square are the people that are needing to rub shoulders with them, because it was Capcom that made those games.
Right.
Well, no, what we're saying in the sense of, like, since we know that Disney and Square already have a working relationship because of Kingdom Hearts, maybe they could make a spiritual successor of sorts. I guess you raise a point that they couldn't use the term Magical Quest because Capcom likely owns the licensing copyright on
It's
that.
very much the same reason why, coincidentally, Nintendo can't exactly use the title Super Mario RPG, because that's half Nintendo and half Square.
Right.
I wonder if that's a reason why they also can't use the term. No. I was about to say that. I was about to suggest maybe that's why they also can't call it Donkey Kong Country anymore. But
No, I mean, Nintendo took all those rights back from Rare, so...
that's true. Okay, that's right because they just absorbed. Okay. Ah, the wonderful worlds of law.
It's very much as convoluted as the Bible.
I think I talked about this already, but like it was a fun. We could absolutely sequence break this entire level.
Then
Like,
why
we
don't
could
you?
play it to be fun. But just know, if we did our double jump thing, we absolutely could have literally jumped from the start to the very end of the stage.
There you go.
Especially
It's a
with the...
magical thing.
Yeah, it's very magical. Just as soon as we can find the little sucker that lets us do it.
There we go. Oh, that's right. Yeah, because this stage also introduces one of the most broken power-ups in the game, especially if both of you get it. Like it was this, and the Snow World also has its own version of it. But
I know
yeah,
which
'cause I
one
don't
you're
know if
talking about.
I don't know if we mentioned it, but freaking well, careful with the books, Cass. Okay.
Jeez. I mean, I've heard of people dropping the book on you, but that's not the way people tend to use that phrase.
Come on. Okay.
Heavy
there you go.
reading and. hang
Well,
on.
she's 10, so.
Is she
Yeah,
like?
oh, yeah.
Where is it? Where are all these characters' ages stated?
Well,
I'm
I
sure
know.
in the book and their bios or something.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Leo and Emma's age was confirmed in the game as 15, whereas in the novel they're 14, and in the novel
Interesting.
Cass is 10.
And
is Cass, Emma, and Leo like the only characters in the novel that have their ages verified?
I think though I'm pretty. No, hold on. It's not.
golf.
It's not 100% verified, but they did say that Bugsy's in high school, so I think she's around the same age as Leo and Emma.
Gotcha.
Yes!
Yeah, there you go.
Ooh,
Right.
hole in one.
And I believe you did mention that one like key thing about Cass was that again in the book she was a lot more bratty.
She's a lot more bratty and closed-minded, but she does still care for her friends, especially one that she is very close to, which I'm actually gonna wait to talk about that until we get to a later chapter.
Which, because you raise a good point. Because you raise another good point that the book also gets to have more fun with this, James, than the game does. Is the concept of these dreamers actually interacting with each other, like as they are. Like the idea of that, like as far as the game is concerned, it makes it seem like these guys are isolated to their world and nothing else. Whereas in the book, like they're able to travel around the place, they visit each other, they talk, and that's why too.
Oops.
I just want to see how far it can fly.
That's how far.
Bastard.
Use the donkey technique of slamming it and watching.
Don't
it
talk about donkey.
Miraculously. Why?
Because he's one of the people that insists that the game is a word that...
Oh.
Yeah, I don't care for it.
Well, I was referring more to the technique of when he was playing Mario Golf.
Super Rush.
Listen,
Yeah,
I understand. I just, I got
That's
very
fine.
mixed feelings for him.
Well, it's
That
fine.
is
I mean,
fair.
Well, I mean, I'll give you credit in that, like, well, kind of like in Logan's case, it's just one video out of, like, the many that he's made. But I do agree with Jordan is that, like, I usually try my best to avoid the people that are, like, insistently toxic on the game, like them in Nintendo Life.
Well, again,
oh god, Nintendo Life was the worst.
Which is, well, I mean, okay, which granted, I can't necessarily blame them all by my next costume. A little situational, but this allows us to do two things.
Wabbit.
Ha.
Mono
I
bunny.
see that finger waggle.
You're
It allows
so
us to do
clever.
Of course. It allows us to do two things. One, it allows us to be, it prevents us from being frozen in time, and it says protects us from being frozen in time by enemies. It correctly should be
Doesn't.
stating, what?
Or is it well, what am I trying to say? It's like, I'm guessing like it says that, but it actually doesn't.
Well, no, it was more so the fact of, like, it claims, like, oh, to avoid from being frozen in time by enemies, when in reality it's just enemy. Like, as far as I know, apart from one boss, which, you know, shocker, is the boss of this world, there's nobody else in the game. Oh wow, since it's frozen, I can actually get up close to this guy without him disappearing.
Yay!
Hello.
He really is that hollow.
Aww. But yeah, no, there really is only a single entity, as far as I'm aware, that can actually freeze you in time. And yeah, again, spoiler, we're gonna have to use that in order to deal damage to him. Yay!
Yeah. Did you see the
Alright,
way
see
they
you
were
guys, we're up.
walking as you were walking?
Come
Oh,
on, jump.
Yeah,
You
they
didn't
were
notice
briefly moving forward as you were. Like again,
Yeah.
that's something
Oh, they wanna
they do.
follow us.
That's something that they can do. It's just that it's never clear how or when they'll try and do that.
They'll do it at any
Right.
time you move.
But-
Not
so- but-
always,
so they-
because
but
I've
they-
noticed
right.
plenty of times where we moved forward and they more or less stood in place.
I'm sure there's like a limit, or like some of them like have certain hallways that they will that they'll move down, like, but because like here I could see them moving just in front of the checkpoint, the dressing room. But you're right, there were times, like say in, you know, Cowboy Curtis's land, where we had nobody, where they weren't moving because they already had their set position.
Mm-hmm.
And there you go.
There we
Hello,
Just
egg.
punch the egg. I'm sure everything will go fine. Yeah. I had a thought.
What's up?
It was
that?
something about you saw where Nintendo Life was coming from.
Yes, thank you. Was that I could see why they would be so harsh, given that, assuming they're going off of their name and staying true to their word, they only would have played the Switch version, which I think was probably one of the worst optimized like ports of the game.
Yes.
Yeah.
I will admit that is one other thing. I feel like we brought this up when we were looking at the demo, but that's also like a thing that kind of bugs me, is that like I can understand for people like Nintendo Life, which
Yes, a lot.
focus just on like the Nintendo consoles, but every other reviewer like kind of ignores the fact that it's on other consoles when it talks about like performance optimization.
I mean,
Well, it's
there's
just
also the matter that most of those people are likely only playing on the Switch anyway, which I think I don't know if we've already brought this up before. We likely have, but Balan Wonderworld is a game that very much it fits naturally with the Nintendo Switch. And the fact that it was about as poorly optimized as it was, a very much a disservice to the game, which, most people are going to buy on that system.
Yeah.
Well,
So this is the Aircat. So combining two Aircats with the co-op thing, this can break most platforming in the game because the Aircat is mostly for horizontal traveling and lets you just walk on airs.
You mean she walks on airs?
A pretty fair distance, too.
She's a literal Skywalker.
Aw, look at me. Oh,
Yeah.
rats. All right, I'm
Anyway,
coming.
back to what you were
down
saying,
there?
Steve.
I'm on it.
Alright, I was saying, well, I can kind of get that, but I think, the thing that bugs me whenever they talk about, Balan and not, reserving it for, a specific console, is that, they never, take into account, the Switch version is bad. You should, if you want to play Balan, you should try this other version. They always make it seem like, oh no, every version is like this.
Well, so to that I would agree that if they're going to be talking about hardware limitations and how optimized it is for that hardware, then I think it's important that they should cite what specific build or what specific console they're using, because as you've seen here, I would argue that the PC and I think the PlayStation 4 versions were relatively okay compared to
Yeah, those
the
versions
Switch.
are fine. Ironically,
those versions are great.
Ironically, I think the PS4 version actually runs a little better than the PS5 version.
I think so too. I think mainly because again, I think it was something where they were working on the PS4 build much longer until they're like, oh, let's put it out for the PS5 as well.
It's still funny. It's still funny thinking back on it that the game was initially announced back when Xbox had their whole stream.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's where it all started. And
they could have totally just said, "Hey, we're gonna make this game for the Xbox Series X."
And honestly,
it could have been exclusive for all we know.
And honestly, I also made that argument about
Rainbow
when it
statue.
was. Excuse me.
I was just saying a rainbow statue down there. We're just gonna go and grab that real quick. Continue though.
I remember, and I was talking to the guys about it, is that, the event where they actually announced Balan, initially announced Balan, it's, because all the other stuff that they had on display there, honestly, was a little bit more drab by comparison. It kind of made me wonder why this wasn't initially part of that, string of announcements, because I figured, not for nothing, put aside people's insistence on hating the game, I feel like from an initial reaction standpoint, I feel like this probably would have gotten people's attention more than any of the fluff that they were, shelling out originally at the Direct.
Again, in a world full of Ghost of Tsushima's, Days Gone, Last of Us's, and stuff again, the art style and the presentation of this is very eye-catching.
Right,
Of
it's
course.
very much a breath of fresh air.
Rats, we got one statue.
Just
all right.
again, that just does lead to the issue that Balan Wonderworld has in the long run, in that, much like Mighty Number 9 before, there was a lot of hype and potential towards this game, and it was all squandered just like that.
Yeah. So now Cass has become a cat, and I will say this is also one of my favorite. This is also another one of my favorite.
I
costumes.
like Perla. She's great.
Feels very Tim Burton-y.
Oh,
In a way,
yes.
She also sort of reminds me of Puffy from Knights.
Yeah.
Her and
Bamumba.
Balumba.
Bamumba.
Bamumba. Either way, both this boss and the circus bosses, I guess, remind me of that body type. So right here, this is where you want the bunny ability, because otherwise that would have frozen you in time. And again, it's, to my knowledge, the only ability in the game that does that.
Probably.
So lastly, we have one last thing, which is sock it to him. Done.
I'll punch your. Now let me punch your clock.
Dun dun dun. But yeah, no. Again, I do still like these boss designs and the musics and it's fun stuff to it. And she is free.
Time's up.
SpongeBob. And it's
There
revealed that
she
Cass had an
is.
essay to write all this day, and she just went on this elaborate adventure to procrastinate.
So hey, sorry about what happened to your cat. Want to dance?
Don't
Don't
say the
worry,
word cat to her in the novel, otherwise she'll have a panic attack.
Wait, really?
Wait, say the word.
Really?
Well, I mean, considering that, the crux of her story was, PTSD from her pet being run over, I guess I could see how.
I guess, yeah, that it's That's interesting that it's like just even the mention of it.
I guess she was just really attached to that cat. Like, I imagine, like, she'd always wanted a pet.
Boy.
Yes.
You first.
Like, I imagine, like, she always wanted a pet, but just never got the chance to, and that cat was, like, probably, like, the first pet she probably ever had.
That's probably, yeah. But yeah, that's what the thing I found that's completely unrelated to this, but I think it's funny is, or cool is, at the next convention coming up for me next year, Ed Asner's gonna be there.
Ooh, nice.
I'm gonna have him sign my knife.
You do that while we go back in time.
Nah, I mean, I'll probably just have him sign up or something. I mean, you know, I'll be bored
Turning
like that.
back to the magical year of 1996.
Basically, she overreacted.
And the cat survived.
The car stopped. She freaked out over
Aw.
nothing and was just in this perpetual hell for no reason. Hug the thing and get over it.
I mean, you know, that is very much, you know, the grief of uncertainty.
Yeah.
We'll sign off on that today. Perhaps we'll continue this another time.
Perhaps.
Sorry, I don't know, I was just thinking back to freaking Princess Bride, like, you're getting very emotional about this. Perhaps we'll continue this another night.
Alright, so with that said, next time, you guys got a chessboard we could use?
All I got are these bagpipes.
Perfect.
But with the plaid, if you lay it out flat. Okay, so see you guys next time.
Goodbye, everybody.
I don't get it either.